Hello, hello. Hello. Just getting set up for my very first live stream on YouTube. So just checking everything out, making sure that everything is working properly, and it looks like we're good to go. I've got the chat open here, so if you pop in and joining in today, I would love for you to say hello or say where you're tuning in from. And we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. If you are joining in class tonight, you can have a couple of blocks nearby. I always like to recommend having blocks and a blanket. Nothing is necessary, right? You don't even need a yoga mat or any certain clothes or anything. But if you do happen to have blocks and a blanket, I like bringing them by wherever you're practicing. It just gives you some other options to move through different postures. Sometimes it brings challenge, sometimes it brings support. So it's a nice prop to have either way. All right, the last piece that I was going to try to get going was some music, although I'm not sure how or if it'll be heard through here. I think today I might just skip it. We'll check that out next time. Just giving it one more look. Yeah, I think we'll leave it off today. So if you want to get some music going for yourself, set the vibe, awesome. I have a lot of playlists on Spotify under, it's called Yoga Vibes. I have a whole folder dedicated to it, but if you go to Kendra Stall on Spotify, you're definitely going to find some yoga playlists there. So you can pick any of them, one that stands out to you today, or enjoy whatever you'd like as far as music goes or no music. So let's go ahead and kick it off. We're going to start in child's pose today. And I'll keep the chat open here just in case, anything comes up and any questions pop up and it's handy for you to just leave a note. Feel free to do so, or at the end, just letting me know how you're doing. So let's get started. And as I mentioned, we're just going to start really easy today in child's pose. So you can come on down to your mat or the space that you've dedicated for this practice. The class that we're going to be going through tonight is called Balanced Strength. So it's a combination of both some flowing movement, vinyasa, and challenge, some power poses, some holds, as well as taking some time to balance that out with longer stretches, having a nice shavasana at the end and some lying down poses at the end to just help everything integrate and to find that balance between strength and flexibility. Something that I like to mention a lot in classes is that we're looking for that balance of effort and ease. And that's what I like to think of this class as being, is finding or exploring that balance between effort and ease. So we start in child's pose today. And you can let your arms go wherever they feel comfortable. So a lot of times you'll see arms extended in child's pose. That's a great place to be. If the head is not quite coming down to the ground, you could fill this space with your hands, or it's a great place to bring in a block right away, especially if the neck is feeling tense at all. You know, even if the head can come all the way down, sometimes it's nice to bring this prop under you and just start with a little more support. So find a place where you can land. And just begin to notice yourself breathing. Become aware of the fact that you're breathing. And just letting yourself have a moment to land here. If you've had a crazy day, can you just let this time now be a space for you to find the balance to that? Find a little space in all of the chaos and the noise. And if on the other hand, you've had a pretty mild day, maybe even to the point where it was hard to get off the couch or hard to focus, maybe you didn't feel quite as accomplished as you wanted to feel, or whatever it was that maybe got in your way of feeling your best today, then can you create the space now to just really honor yourself? And those words, they maybe don't make sense right away. Honor yourself. What does it mean? Check in with yourself. You don't have to have all of the answers. You don't need to know why it was a challenging day. Why was I not focused? But what I invite you to do here and now is just give yourself the space to move through whatever it is that's on your plate today or on your mind. Just give yourself the space. And we do that by focusing in on the breath. So let's start to breathe together here. Breathing in through the nose. Open the mouth, relax the jaw, and just let it release through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. One more time. Good. If your arms are folded, go ahead and extend the arms. And do your best to just stay aware of your breath as we start to move through these postures. So we're going to press into the fingertips and lift the head up, make little tents with the hands, and walk your hands off to the left side of the mat. And then refold here, bringing the forehead down to the block or to the mat, so that we get a nice arch through this right side body, keeping the hips
grounded down towards the heels. And for more sensation, if this feels like maybe you could go a little further, you can walk your right fingertips over top of the left and interlace the fingers. And we'll just take a couple of flowing breaths here, in through the nose. Let it go. In through the nose. Let it go. One more time. Lift up the head, uncross the hands, and walk through center. Take a walk over to the right side of the mat, and we'll do the same thing here. Folding down over the knee, forehead comes down, hips stay reaching back towards the heels. For more sensation, more stretch, bring the left hand over top of the right. And then 3 smooth breaths here. Let's start to breathe in and out through the nose. Our nostril breath, or yogic breath. Breathing in. Breathing out through the nose. In through the nose. Out through the nose. One more time. Try to stretch the breath. In. All the way out. Bottom of the breath, lift the head, walk the hands back through center, and then one more stretch right down the middle. Extend the arms fully, bow the head, breathe in through the nose, feel the grip under the fingers, breathe out through the nose, soften the jaw. Walk the hands back underneath of you, coming forward into tabletop. Bring the knees underneath of the hips. You can wag your tail a little side to side as you find position here. And then we'll start to move the spine through cow and cat. Get that nice energy moving between tailbone and base of the head. So as you lower the belly, breathe in, look forward for cow. And exhale, press into the hands and shins, round the back. Breathing in, belly lowers. Breathing out, round the spine. Just one more time. Breathing in, cow. Breathing out, cat. And then we'll meet back in a neutral spine and do a little C curve here. So you can bump your hips off to the left, look over to the left, and then come through center, do the same thing other way. Going back to the first side, breathe in, look to the left. Breathe out, center, go the other way, breathe in, and come back to center, neutral spine. Let's take the left leg out to the side here. I'll stay this direction for now. Lifting the left leg just out to the side. And then start to draw big circles through the left knee. You're really moving from the left hip. But you can imagine like your knee is like the point of a pencil, and that's what's drawing the circle. And then switch directions and try to balance out the weight in the arms. And we're going to come into gate pose from here with a little hip action in between. So with that left leg lifted, we're going to extend the leg and then tap those left toes 5 times down to the mat. And then on that 5th one, ground the outside edge of the foot and roll the spine up, lifting the arms up and out to a T shape. Take a nice big breath here, lifting energy up through the spine and out through the arms. And then on your next breath, tip up and over, reaching the right palm. Breathe. And then we'll reverse that movement, so all the way over to the other side into side plank. Lift up the left leg. Flex the heel like you're kicking the wall, and then extend your left arm all the way overhead. Press up through that bottom shoulder, and then we have 5 side crunches. Inhale into the length. Exhale, elbow to knee. In, out. Breathe in and stretch. Exhale, crunch. 2 more times.
Extend, ground the left leg, come back up through that center posture, and then release. Hands come down to the mat. Bring that left knee in. You can wag your hips a little side to side. Take a nice big breath, let the neck release. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side here. So we'll lift the right knee out to the side and start to draw big circles here through the right knee. Switch directions. Try to explore the space. Maybe it means you move a little slower. It's really not about reps here. We're just exploring the way the hip can move, playing into the mobility of the hip. And then we'll take the leg out to the side, extend the foot like you're doing a karate kick out to the side. You should be feeling this in your hips and glutes. Tap that toe down 5 times. This is that balance between strength and flexibility. Tight hips doesn't always mean stretch. Sometimes it's the strength that brings the balance. Let's ground that foot down and then roll up the spine, coming up with energy through the torso and extending out through the fingertips. Breathe in here. Exhale, flip it up and over, gate pose. And then we'll reverse that movement all the way to the other side of the mat. Lift up the right heel, karate kick, extend the arm, and then we have 5 side crunches here. Breathe in, crunch. One more time. Extend, ground the foot, pop back up through center, and then come back down into your tabletop. Bring that right knee in. You can wag your tail again or shake out the neck. Take a nice cleansing breath. And then we'll come down into puppy pose. And I want to give 3 variations for this puppy pose, just as a reminder that you always have options. The first version could be crossing the arms, head on the back of the hands. If you wanted to take it to the next step, you could do a 1-arm puppy, extending one of the arms forward. The purpose of this posture is to let the space under the shoulders open and behind the heart melting pose. If you feel pretty good here and you want to go into a deeper version of puppy pose, if it's accessible, then both arms extend. Forehead or chin on the mat. Just make sure you're not crimping the neck. And focus your attention here on the way that it feels in the upper back and under the shoulders. Do your best here to take 3 solid breaths. In and out through the nose. Imagine someone would place a hand on your upper middle back, right between your shoulder blades, and you just feel the body softening under that space of your hand, of the hand. Complete the breath, breathing in and out. Begin to walk your hands back underneath of the shoulders so you can press up into tabletop. You can walk your knees back just a little bit here so you're not quite in a plank pose, almost. And then we're going to lower down through knees, chest, chin, also known as 8-point salute. So the butt's gonna stay lifted, the chest comes right between the hands, chin comes down. See if you can hover here for a moment. And then slide on through to the belly for baby cobra. Circle those shoulders back, squeeze the legs together, all 10 toes on the mat. Hover your head and shoulders off the mat. Breathing in, breathing out. Hold it here, low cobra. Bring some awareness into the back of the neck and the shoulders, the jaw. Nice strong back. Lower the head down, press up through a half plank, and then tuck your toes and shift the hips back to the heels in a version of child's pose.
getting a little stretch in the bottom of the feet. On your next inhale, come forward to table, and this time we'll lift the hips and come up into downward facing dog. Right away, pedaling through the heels, bending one knee, reach through the opposite foot. Alternating legs. Always a lot of freedom as you come into this posture to play and explore and just feel out some new parts of the body. Feeling the upper arms externally rotate. So you ground into your thumb and index finger, all 10 fingertips, and then rotate the upper arms out, bringing some space in between the shoulder blades, room for the neck to say yes and no. And then we'll take a walk to the front of the mat. Go slowly here, like a Sunday stroll. Taking your time to come to the very front into a forward fold. As you arrive, you can hold on to opposite elbows, a generous bend in the knees. Take a little rock side to side and ragdoll. And that's just an option, right? So you could have blocks under the hands. You could be grazing fingertips on the earth. You could hold behind the calves. The important part of this is, just like we started, to give yourself that space. Give yourself space to just be in a fold right now. That's it. Just be in a fold. Breathe here. It's one of the best things we can do at the end of a long day. Fresh energy moving through the body. And then we'll bend the knees a lot and we'll come up to stand. You can lift up your gaze, let the blood start to rebalance, and then press into the thighs, use the strength of the legs, and rise all the way up to stand. So meeting in mountain pose, let's start to circle the shoulders one at a time, rolling them back. And then we'll start to expand that movement. So like a backstroke, circling the arms. Just feel your breath flowing naturally. Just try to keep a little awareness on the breath. And then we'll switch that direction. So forward stroke, you can feel the rotation of the shoulders, like you're instead of water pushing away, we're moving through the energy of the space around you. And then we're going to keep floating the arms all the way down, circling them down into a forward fold. And we're going to do a little energy technique tonight called expelling the venom. So we're going to imagine we're like weeding our garden, or we're just picking up all of the junk, the trash, the stuff that we want to get rid of. Kind of like a spring cleaning for your energy. So you're going to grab up that junk in fists. And I want you to really squeeze your hands here. As you inhale, you're going to bring those fists, all of that junk, up and overhead. And as you exhale, you're going to throw it down with an SH sound like this. Shh. And then we'll do that a few more times together. So breathing in and up. Throw it down. Shh. Inhale. Release. Shh. One more time like this. And then one time slowly, and we're going to stay standing. So fists, bring it up. Exhale, press it down. You're shushing all those people that have frustrated you. You're shushing all of that nonsense that's frustrated you or brought you anger in some way. You're releasing that junk that maybe felt like it was weighing you down. And we're going to have another opportunity to do that exercise later. So if it's the first time you've ever done that, we'll have a chance to play with it again. For now, let's inhale and sweep the arms up and overhead and into a side bend. You can hold onto the left wrist and reach up and over. Imagine you have a wall behind you that you can lean up against. You feel your backside over the heels, the shoulders over the hips. And we'll come through center and switch sides, keeping the feet grounded evenly.
Again, feel for that imaginary wall behind you. Feel yourself maybe standing a little taller, opening up the heart, the gaze, breathing into the lungs, the ribs. And we'll come back through center, breathe in at the top, take a big stretch, and exhale to swan dive, come all the way down. Step your left foot back into a runner's lunge. Left hand stays down on the mat or a block. Inhale, right arm sweeps up to a twist. Exhale, release, right hand comes down. We're gonna start moving into a flow. Pivot stay up on those back toes, lift the arms, high crescent lunge. Exhale, release, hands come down. Now pivot the back heel down for warrior two. Cartwheel the arms open, hips open, bend into the front knee. Peaceful warrior, breathing in. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down into your runner's lunge. Step back into your plank pose. Hold nice and strong. Breathing in, come high onto the toes. Lift the heels over the toes. Exhale, chaturanga, halfway or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Keeping it going here. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, curling in like plank. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Listen close, we're gonna mix it up here. Inhale, extend the leg. Now step halfway forward. So not all the way to the hands, just halfway up your mat. Lower the left knee, and then rise up. So we end up in this 90-degree angle, low lunge. Your hands can come to the heart. Take a little loop with the shoulders. Feel the left thigh gently pressing forward, hips square. Breathe in at center. Exhale, rotate around to the right. Try to keep your thumbs at heart center. Elbows out to the sides. Now we're going to take this one step further in the twist, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then press into your hands and extend out through the crown of your head. If you feel pretty good here, you could play with opening the arms, just an option. And bringing the hands back together. Come through center, breathe in and lift those arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. We're going to play again with these transitions. So we're going to plant the hands, lift up the legs, and come into a pyramid pose. So the legs are already about the right distance. We're just grounding both of the heels. It's a great place to bring in blocks. Taking a nice long breath in to extend the spine and folding from the hip. Let the head bow. Bring your right hand to the right hip. Start to engage through the legs strongly. Left hand to the hip and then lift all the way up so you're standing. Left arm comes up and then reaches forward. Now we're going to find a revolved triangle or a revolved pyramid pose. So it's really important to stay grounded in the legs. So I want you to feel that here, pressing down. And we're going to reach forward and start to twist over to the right. Come about halfway down, reaching out through the left arm. Then bring your left hand down, either to a block or to the mat. You could be on the toes or go over to the right side of the foot. Now, rotate the spine, gazing over to the right. You might feel your balance getting a little wonky here. That's where that grounding through the legs is super important. If you feel pretty good here, you might open up the right arm, full twist. Check in with yourself as you come into the challenge. Find the balance of effort and ease. Sometimes it's more challenge, sometimes it's more ease, but in every posture there's a little bit of both. Find it, find it. Let's start to come back out. You can bring both hands down, and then we're going to step forward. Both feet come together and take a fold. Let the head bow. Sitting down and back, find your chair pose. Extend the arms, and then using the strength of the legs, you're going to rise all the way up. Maybe a little back bend at the top as you squeeze the glutes. And exhale, let the arms come down to mountain pose. Connect with your breath. Start to circle your shoulders. Start to back stroke through the arms. We're going to go through that same flow on the other side. Start to forward stroke. Swim all the way down. Let the hands come to the earth. Step your right foot back. We begin to move with the breath here in true vinyasa style. Right hand stays down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Back heel pops down. Warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Peaceful warrior. Send it up and back. Cartwheel, hands come down to the mat, step back to plank pose. Breathing in, gather strength. Exhale, halfway or all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift. Step the left foot halfway through, halfway up, and lower the right knee. Rise up into your low crescent lunge. You can open your shoulders here, roll the shoulders back, and then bring the palms together, elbows wide. Breathe in, rotate to the left. And then the next step with the twist, we'll take the elbow to the outside of the knee and then press into the hands, extend through the spine, through the crown. We have the same option here as the other side. So you could stay right here or you could open those arms. Bring the arms back down. Let's come through center. Hands come to the mat. Tuck the back toe. Pyramid pose. Your feet are more on railroad tracks rather than a tight rope, so make sure there's a little space between the feet. Take a nice deep breath in to elongate the spine and fold down as you exhale. The tendency here is for that left leg to really jut forward. The knee starts to bend, everything starts to go up through the left. What I want to encourage you to do here is pull back through the left, put more weight into the back foot, and fold towards the shin. Check in with yourself, find your breath, become aware of how you hold the body in any given posture. Strong legs here. Left hand comes to left hip. Right hand comes to right hip. Lift up through the torso. Right arm extends up towards the sky. Feel yourself staying grounded in the legs. And then start to reach forward. Reach forward, come halfway down, twisting towards the left. If you feel okay there, keep going. Right hand comes to the outside of the foot and then rotate through the spine. Chest rotates, the shoulder opens. Blocks can be really helpful here. This is a challenging posture, so that block can just help you find a little more steadiness. You're still gonna get into the challenge of it. And then maybe that left arm opens, maybe. Remember energy in the back foot, grounding down. Good job. Start to release. Come back down through center, and then both feet step together into your fold. Let the head bow. Take a nice deep breath. Chair pose, hips back, arms lift. Use the strength of the legs, shooting all the way up. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Squeeze the glutes and release. Arms come down to the sides. Find your Tadasana. Mountain pose. Take a deep breath for yourself. Give yourself a little pat on the back, a smile. So as promised, we're going to go into our second time of expelling the venom, that energy technique from earlier. The difference here is we're just going to stay standing. So same action, same sound with the breath, that SH, a big sh release. So we're gonna grab up junk, we're gonna make fists with the arms and hands, inhale up, and breathe it out, release. It helps to even scrunch the face. It's that moment of like total tension to total release. One more time like that. And then we'll do one more slowly where you lift it up, squeeze, and then press it down. Breathing in and out through the nose, find Tadasana. We have one more flow here, and then we're going to bring it down. Find your chair pose. And then bring the arms alongside the body, reaching back through the fingertips. Hummingbird. Draw the left heel in towards your backside like you're hugging a block between thigh and calf. Imagine you have a nice long beak like a hummingbird that's trying to reach a flower in front of you. And then from here, step all the way back into your crescent lunge. Breathe in, arms come up. Exhale, warrior two. Peaceful warrior, send it up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the front foot. Find your twist. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, right hand comes down. All right, we're gonna switch up our flow here. Listen closely to follow along. Drop the left knee down to the mat. Step your right foot out to the side. Back to your gate pose. Lift up through center. Take a stretch up and over. Breathe in. Exhale, release back to center. Hands come down to the mat. Tuck your back toe. Lift the back knee. Now taking that leg that's out to the side all the way over to the other side for fallen triangle. Right hand will stay down. Press into the feet. Lift the hips. Good. Release. Left hand down. There's one more step. Pigeon pose. Right knee to right wrist. Slide it back onto your mat. Take a moment here to situate the hips, getting them nice and square. Use a blanket or a block underneath of that right hip if it helps feel more supported. And I want to give you the option tonight to either stay lifted. The lifted version of this can open up through that left hip flexor, left front body a little more. You could also play with strength, bringing one or both hands to the heart. But if you really feel like you want to fold and come into your resting pigeon, then go ahead and just fold it down in your own time. You could hold the head in your hands or maybe release onto a block. So we'll take the next minute or so to just explore this pose on your own. Balance between effort and ease. Effort and ease. Just consider in this moment what that means to you. Get curious about what it means. There's more than one answer. You can check in with your body, see if it wants to go a little deeper, if it's perfect where it's at, or maybe you've met your edge and it's time to back up a little bit. The important part is connecting with your breath. So if you go to the point where it's hard to breathe, you probably could back up just a little bit. Find that full breath and then move from where you're at. Check to see if any tension is building. It's another good cue to back up a little bit. And we'll take about 3 more breaths. So on your own here, nice deep breath in and out. See if you can extend your breath just a little bit longer, especially on that exhale, letting go. And then start to press back up. We're just going to step back into tabletop for a moment. Sitting the hips back to the heels, the elbows come back by the knees, and just bow the head down. You can hold the head in the hands. And then coming forward into table, tuck the toes, downward dog. Walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. And we're going to go right into the other side. So sitting back into your chair pose, arms lift up. Finding our hummingbird, arms sweep along the side of the body. Right heel comes in. Lean forward with that nice long beak into your favorite flower. And then stepping back from here into high crescent lunge. Breathe in, reach up. Open up, warrior 2, breathe out. Peaceful warrior, breathing in. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, left arm lowers. Excuse me. All right, we're going to lower that right knee down. Take the left leg out to the side into gate pose. And then rolling it up, and we find our gate. Lifting energy up through center, tip it up and over into your stretch. Breathe in. And come back through center, gate. Hands come down to the mat. Tuck your back toe, lift the knee, and then sending that left foot all the way through to the other side. Fallen triangle. Lift up those hips. Lift the arm. And then one more step, coming into pigeon pose. Draw that left knee back onto the mat and square off towards the front. Find your back bend. Lifting up onto fingertips, opening the chest. It's a really great place to work with strength in the hips, bringing hands to heart. The only thing that I like to ask of you here is to make sure the lower back is not getting compressed. If it feels like it's scrunching the back, then definitely bring a prop underneath of you. Bring that back knee in a little bit more. Those are good ways to give the lower back more support. You could also keep the hands a little further in front of you for that low back. But you have your time here, so we'll take the next minute to either fold or play with your king pigeon. This is your space, right? This is the space that you've created tonight for you to check in with yourself. How are you feeling now? And keep checking in, keep being present in this moment, allowing your body to move into the space that's created physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The thing about energy is it needs space to move. And that's why we have our yoga practice here, to give ourselves the space in all the ways. That's why we come to the breath, to breathe that space into our lives. Relax some of those tricky areas like the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. You don't need to be tense here. There's no one evaluating your performance. Taking your last couple of breaths. Starting to find your way back up. And then we'll bring that back knee in and come into tabletop. Again, we'll lower into kind of a modified child's pose, elbows by the knees. You can just let the head rest or bring it into the hands. And then we'll slide all the way down to the belly from here. So you can just walk on down. Bring the hands underneath of the head like a little pillow. Rock the hips side to side, releasing any tension in the low back. Also a really great position to just ground the body and the nervous system. We're going to go into a series of 3 back bends. Our first one is a locust pose. So we're going to bring the arms alongside the body to start, palms facing down. You can just hover your chin off the mat to start. Feel the pubic bone pressing into the mat and all 10 toes in the mat. Now press into your hands. Feel them walking back towards the thighs as you lift your head and shoulders. Now lift your right toes. Lift your left toes. Breathe. Feel the shoulder blades draw together on the back. Lower everything down. Reset. We're going to go again, starting with that same locust pose. Lift up off the mat, head, shoulders, feet. Lift the hands. Bring them out to the side like Superman. And then bring them all the way in front of you. Lifting up through the thumbs and the heels, and then lower everything down, hands under head again.
Bend the knees, rock the hips side to side, or windshield wiper the feet side to side. Pause that movement. We're going to come into one more back bend, this time bow pose. So you can keep the pubic bone pressing down, bent knees, reach back for your ankles or your feet. The first part is just like locust. You can just get the stretch in the quads, a little bonus here. But to lift, it's just like locust, lifting the shoulders, lifting the thighs. And then if you feel okay here, you can kick into the hands, drawing back like a bow. Breathing here. And release everything down. You can rock the hips side to side again, or windshield wiper the knees. And then we'll bring the hands under the shoulders and press up into table. We're just gonna roll on over to the back side here. So nothing fancy, you can just roll on over. And as you come down to the mat, just let your spine rest. You can reach the arms out. Give yourself a moment to just land here. Let the earth help realign the body. It's sometimes the simplest things that help us come back into balance. Just like that forward fold, right? Just a forward fold at the end of the day, one of the best things you can do. Same thing here, just lying on the back. It's called constructive rest, letting the knees rest against one another. So easy. Let it be easy. And let's get into our last couple of postures here. We'll bring the right knee in towards the chest. The left leg goes down the mat. You can give it a little rock side to side. And then crossing it all the way over the body into a twist. Right arm opens up like a T. You can keep the hand on top of the knee. Gaze can come over to the right. I'll take a few deep breaths here. You might want to dim your lights at this point or close the eyes. Check in with where you're at. See if you can make this a little easier. Let the body go where it wants to go. And then we'll start to unwind, come back through center. And we're just going to open that knee to the right. You can use the right hand to just guide it open, just here for a moment, a little movement. And then back to center and switch sides. Hips centered on the mat, left knee comes in. Little press out through the heels. And then a little rock in the hip socket and guiding the leg over the body into the twist on the other side. Left arm open, gaze comes towards the left. Settling in here. Become a witness of the unfolding. That really special feeling
of the body coming into greater ease. It's just this true witnessing, observing, listening to the body as you let go. And you can adjust accordingly, right? So as you listen, as you watch, you might find micro adjustments as you go. Not to make anything perfect. It's not about making your form perfect or whatever you think needs to be perfect. It's just moving into those spaces that need it. And some days will look different than others, so just letting that process unfold. Most important part, as with every posture we've practiced today, is to practice connection with your breath. If you're breathing in and breathing out with awareness, it's all that you can ask for. Best thing. And let's start to unwind. Slowly realign the hips. And then bringing that left knee out to the left side. Just a little movement here on the left. Coming back to the middle. Extend the arms. Extend the legs. And then taking up all of your space here. Go a little wide in your Shavasana today. Open arms, open the legs, open the feet, and open the palms. And take a nice deep breath. Settling into this final pose. If you have that blanket nearby, you might want to cover yourself up or put a little support under the knees or the head or the ankles. This is your moment to let go of any last tension that may have been holding. It's the body's opportunity to integrate and just allow breath and blood and energy to flow. So I invite you to breathe easily, to let go of any pressures that you've put on yourself or feel others have put on you, and to truly just have this final moment all for yourself. Trusting that whatever you need, you have. Whatever you don't yet have is on its way. But the most important things live within. And you can trust that. And so even if there's pain, even if there's tension, even if there's a lot of sensation in any way, let yourself melt into it. Feel it and be with it. breathe with it. I want you to ask yourself, right here now, if there's anything that you need. What do I need in this moment? And trust what comes up, whether it's mashed potatoes, orange juice, or 10 more minutes in Shavasana, or another vinyasa, or a hug. Ask yourself here and now, what do I need in this moment? And trust it. And I invite you to do something really, really kind for yourself and listen. Listen to that inner wisdom. Listen to what came up and go get yourself those mashed potatoes or orange juice or whatever posture might help you in this moment. Give yourself those extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Go ask for a hug or wrap your arms around yourself. But listen to your body and tend to it. I invite you to deepen your breath here if you'd like, if you're ready, right? You can move off your mat in any way, listening to your body. If you are with me here and now and want a guided exit to your practice, you can deepen the breath, you can move the body in little ways, the fingers, the toes, maybe even squeeze the knees in and take a little rock. And when you're ready, rolling on over to your side or rolling on up to a seat. Bringing palms together, landing them at the center of the heart. A little bow through your chin to form a humble gesture. And saying thank you first and foremost to yourself. Thank you, body, for moving through this day, through this practice. Thank you for showing up on your mat and in this space. Send your thanks, your gratitude out to the other yogis who tend to their practices, taking care of themselves so they can serve others to the best of their ability. Your gratitude in every direction, thanking all of the people in your life, all of the animals and spirit and abundance and challenges. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll take a humble bow here to seal it all in and bow to one another. Namaste and good night. Thank you for joining me in this practice. I'd love to hear how it went for you. If you want to leave a comment here on the video, or you can always jump onto my website and send me a message. I'd be happy to hear from you. Know how this class felt and went for you and how you're doing. And you can check out the full schedule of classes on my website. I'm kind of playing around here with live streaming some classes, also still hosting. I'm going to host Thursday morning on Zoom this week, so you can check it out. That one will be an energy medicine yoga class where we bring in more of those energetic techniques like what we did with expelling the venom and using the sound and breath. And just keep checking in and seeing what serves you all the best. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you soon.